Hi everyone, Gig Coach Jake here with your GrubHub tips and tricks for 2019. Now the most important thing you need to think about is your market. You have to know your market. And what do I mean when I'm talking about that? If you're brand new, I totally understand, but you should have an idea of the restaurants and fast food places in your market, right? Unless you're working somewhere that's not where you live. Anyhow, distance. The average distance. I know here in Phoenix it's pretty easy. We live on a grid. It's a block mile system. So looking from one major road to the next, it's a mile. So it's a lot easier to calculate how many miles without having it out there like DoorDash. So DoorDash presents the overall miles. GrubHub, we have to kind of guesstimate, right? So if you aren't sure, have a good guesstimate. You have enough time where you actually can go into Google Maps real quick and punch an address to find out what the distance is to the merchant alone. So you have enough time to find out that information if you're quick enough. Anyhow, the money areas. Now I know there's a heat map that gives a lot of information. I'll talk about that in a minute. But you have to know the areas that are going to pay more. Not only pay more in tips, but quality merchants, right? So we want a place that's going to have an average dollar per item that's higher and that gets a lot of orders. So merchants that get a lot of orders, you have a great potential for stacked offers. I know there's some places where I'll accept a lower dollar offer because the potential of another offer coming through and them stacking is pretty high. So keep that in mind. Another very important thing and factor when it comes to knowing your market. Customer app is a great feature to use to gain some of this information to help you understand and know what your market looks like. I know some of these smaller ones, they only have like Burger King, KFC. So the way that you're going to know is go on the customer app. Download that app, take a look. You can actually go in that app and see what the average dollar per item is at some of these places, which will help you in other apps like DoorDash, Postmates, where we kind of have to take a guess based on the number of items. Time. You need to know how long it's going to take. Rush hour, peak times. I know in my area, during lunch, it is insane. It's actually crazier lunchtime because of the restaurants, the mall, and things like that, and the freeway. It's nuts. So, average time to deliver an order is a lot different in a slower time than, say, afternoon rush hour or lunch rush. Every market's different, right? So you have to know your market. A lot of factors there. So again, customer app, download that bad boy. A lot of information on there. There's even reviews if you want to. That's how you can see the different reviews that are left. You go into the actual restaurant that you want, click on reviews on there, check it out. Some are pretty funny. Anyhow, the overall time it's going to take for you to get to the merchant and to the address you're going to. Very important, right? Distance. You need to make at least $1 per mile. So distance is a huge factor in knowing. And then, of course, the money areas. I'm definitely going to set myself up for success. And if it's worth it, I'm going to drive to a different spot that's busier and going to produce a lot better than maybe where I'm at. Anyhow, avoid trouble spots. Now, what do I mean when I say that? You need a no-fly list. Now, no-fly lists are places that you are not going to accept or maybe have a minimum. I have a long list. So anywhere that you run into where maybe they were rude, the staff is consistently a pain in the butt, they don't start the offers till you get there. A number of things. If it's a headache and you consistently run into problems there, just don't accept the offer whatsoever. Even if you're a premier driver, you can reject an offer every so often and still keep that acceptance rating up above, 85 or whatever. I don't chase Premier, so I don't know the exact, I'm pretty sure it's 85% and above. Anyhow, you have some wiggle room to reject these places that always give you a headache and a problem. Like, for example, Buffalo Wild Wings. We all know they're notorious for taking like an hour, right? So, very important that you reject the ones that are going to cost you money. We're not in this for charity, right? No fly list. Start one. Create one in your notes. Make little notes. Maybe it's a minimum. I have places there, it's going to take me at least half an hour to an hour. Guess what? $20 minimum for that place to make sure that it pays for the time. And when I show up, if they're taking a little while, it doesn't bother me. A lot easier for me to be patient, which I'll discuss later at the end, when I'm making a good amount of money or when my time is being paid for. Heatmap can lead to money. Now, it is not a live data. They're using data from previous weeks. So for example, today's Martin Luther King Day. You best believe that that heat map for today is very incorrect. It's not very busy today. There's going to be people off. There's a lot of different factors depending on the holiday or what's going on. But heat map is great for figuring out patterns in your market. So back to knowing your market, this heat map is going to help lead you to the money. Maybe you're in a really bad spot and you see that every time that you're working, there's another area that's in the orange or the pink or dark pink or whatever those colors are. You might want to travel a little ways to go work those spots. Now, I've used mine in my area. There are some spots that I actually started to go work in that are a little bit further from my spot and where I live because I saw that they produce so much that there's a great potential for not only staying busy, but stacked offers. And for someone like me likes to cherry pick, those premier drivers are going to stay pretty busy with offers in that area, right? They're going to have to accept, and I'm going to reject all that crap until something good comes through. So set yourself up for success. Use that heat map for future days, weeks, times, right? Always check the order placed by time. So right here, I'm going to pop up a little screenshot and what I'm talking about. Once you accept the offer, go in to the customer. You'll click on there. Of course, everyone knows that where you see the tip, right? You've already accepted, so it's nice to see that information, to see the tip. So if you're someone like me and it's a no tip, you might want to reassign. But I already know pretty much based on my market which ones are no tip ahead of time based on the base pay, the $3.50, and the per mile. And again, knowing my market, the distance, all those things, I already know and can reject it before I can get to that point. But it will let you know when the order is placed by. GrubHub is notorious for dispatching the offer to us drivers right after it was sent to the restaurant or the merchant. I don't get it, right? They need time to prepare the food. It leads to a lot of frustration on both ends. Trust me, I've talked to a lot of managers and owners and stuff like that. They do not like a bunch of drivers loitering in their lobby or in their restaurant or place of business waiting for a pickup. They expect that GrubHub sends it to us in an appropriate time or that we show up closer to the pickup by time. And again, you have to know your market. Every merchant's different, right? So I know some, the pickup by time, they're actually going to be done sooner. Some are going to be longer. Everyone's different. So back to that number one thing and knowing your market, it's going to help you in all the decisions that you make later on. Anyhow, the pickup this time is going to help let you know when to actually head towards the restaurant, right? So back to knowing your market and the average time. So I know that a place average probably takes 20 minutes to prepare the food, right? And I just got the offer. Do you think I'm going to drive 5 minutes to that restaurant and go hang out for 15 minutes? No. I might be on another DoorDash, or I might be finishing up an offer that'll allow me the time to finish that and slide right into another one and be efficient. It might allow me time to go to the bathroom, right? Get food. I see a lot of people asking, well, if I'm on block and I'm working, when do I have a chance to go bathroom? You got plenty of downtime on a lot of these offers to where you can go to the bathroom, get gas, get food, a lot of things. You can even run some errands. So check when that order was placed. Then look at the pickup time. It's also going to give you a great idea of how long it's going to take for that entire delivery. So again, a lot of information that's going to help you with other decisions. Can't stress this enough. Always reject 0 and low tip offers. Are we in this for charity? I get it if you're a premier driver and you're trying to keep it up. But again, keep a list. Those ones that you delivered to that didn't deliver, that didn't give cash tip, no tip at all, keep an ongoing list. You can avoid those. Start to reject those, right? A lot of times those same people are going to order over and over and over. Be picky. Use those rejections on the ones that are going to cost you money and time, right? if you're a Premier driver. If you're not, you don't have to worry about it. Reject. If it's a slower market, run other apps. You got to set yourself up for success. But again, I can't stress it enough. Reject those 0 tip and low tip off. I know that some of you like to take the chance, right? And you're hoping there's a cash tip. I'd love to believe that everyone is going to be better than that, right? And take care of us for our service. But not everyone understands that the delivery fee doesn't go towards us, that we have to pay a lot of other expenses like extra taxes as an employer, not just an employee, etc., etc. Anyhow, be smart. Reject. Schedule and work on block. Now this is a big one. Yes, you can make money off block, but you're gonna get less offers overall. Volume's king. You can still get big offers and make money off block. Yes, but you will get less offers overall. I don't care. You can still make a lot more money being on block and cherry pick away. I have 3% acceptance rating right now, and it's right around 5% every week. Has been for months. I mean, we're going on a year now. So, for those that do like to cherry pick and be selective, don't be afraid to load up on blocks, log in, and let it filter through, right? There's times where it was a non-peak time where I was on a block and got something pretty sweet. But if you're off block, the chances that you're going to get some offers is a lot lower. I'm a math and numbers guy, and I've tested them both out. On and off block in a busy market. It's no good. Even at peak times, yes, I'll get more offers, but a lot of it's the garbage I don't want and the occasional good one. And a lot of times those better offers I do get are based on previous good service to the customer and at the merchant. So getting 5-star ratings from merchants and getting thumbs up from the customers on the deliveries. Talk about that more in just a second. Peak time, you can work off block and make a fair amount of money. Why is that? There's enough demand. There's only so many drivers, right? And you have all your Premier drivers, they have to accept most offers that come through. So they're going to take a lot of those offers that you keep kicking out, that you're rejecting if you're a cherry picker. So when it's peak time, you can work off block. Non-peak, if you want to make some money and have a higher chance of staying busy on a non-peak time, you need to be on a block. I understand they're saturating the crap out of these markets right now, and it's very hard to pick up blocks. I'm a partner driver in a very busy, saturated market, and it is super hard. I've tested out week after week, not even scheduling at all on a Saturday, and see how many blocks I can pick up throughout the week. Yes, there's a tons of people that know when the blocks are dropped, you know, the 2 times the hour. I'm not going to mention that time right now. There's enough people fighting for it. Anyhow, everyone knows the most obvious times, but you have to be diligent and be looking for blocks. Look for patterns in your market to when people drop them or when they're force dropped by what I like to call the block monster. So when your driver specialist decides to remove your blocks and they disappear, it's like Christmas Day for some of us. This morning I was checking on blocks and I got over 20 hours worth of block from somebody that obviously got schedule restriction, so block restriction. Man, I was super excited, but that happens pretty often. You just have to be ready for them, right? The block monster always strikes. Last but not least, professional. You have to be professional. And I'm not saying wear a suit and tie. You can be in regular, comfy clothes, but don't look like you just rolled out of bed. Don't be afraid to smile, right? Be polite. Ask people how their day was going. You never know what some of these customers or these employees are going through. And I'm talking about the customer, the employees. So when we show up to a merchant and maybe someone's had a bad day, they just had a huge lunch rush. We don't know how many offers they have coming in. Yeah, maybe the place is empty. But for example, there's this tiny place I go to. There's hardly ever anybody inside the restaurant, but they have orders flying through. I mean, there could be as many as 10 to 12 drivers waiting in there for offers sometimes on like a Sunday night or these really busy times. So don't always judge them. Be professional. Be patient. Now that comes back to your own decisions, right? So some of your decisions will set you up to where you can be patient and not be all frustrated. If you're on a no-tip offer, yeah, you're going to be pissed off. Of course. But be polite no matter what. No matter what. You accept that offer, not the restaurant. So be professional, be polite, be patient. And one of the biggest things going to help you, be on time. So using that pickup by time when the order was dispatched or placed is going to give you a lot of information when to show up to that merchant. I might show up a little bit ahead and be in my car. I can see when they're kind of putting orders up on some of these spots. And I'm going to roll in. It almost looks like I have perfect timing a lot of times. But it's based on knowing my market and setting myself up for success. I'm nothing special. All of you can do the same exact things that I do every day. So, not only be on time to the merchant, I'll lead to those 5 stars, right? More 5-star ratings for merchants. You're going to get a higher volume of offers from that merchant. On top of that, you're going to get a lot more opportunities for the really big offers that come through. I know this from personal experience. And I talk to these merchants. I talk to managers. I know which ones rate, which ones don't. And best believe, if you were a jerk off to one of these merchants, they may never rate anybody positively, right? But you best believe they're going to go in that app and they're going to rate you poorly for whatever happened. So, be careful and be on time for the customers. If you're running late, do not send a text before you have the food and you hit leaving on the app. Why? Because they have the opportunity to cancel the offer and you make $0. So, if you're running late and you want to communicate, send them a text, do it as soon as you picked up the food and you're leaving. When you're in your car and you've already hit leaving on the app, you've now been paid. They can cancel all they want. But that's the time when you want to send them a text and communicate, let them know you're on your way. So, thumbs up from the customer and 5-star ratings from those merchants is going to lead to a higher volume of offers from that merchant, especially some of these quality ones, right? And bigger offers. Now, I hope these tips and tricks helped all of you guys and ladies. I'll have a part 2 coming up soon where I'll go a little bit more in detail on some of the different things. Make sure to drop comments, questions down below on things that you want me to cover on the next one. Be safe out there. Have fun. And as always, work hard, but work smarter.